Hi guys, so I'm basically stuck on my arse. I've been in isolation for a week. I've not got COVID, I've tested positive, so I definitely tested negative every other day. So it's absolutely pointless me being off, but hey, I'm off anyway. So supposed to be exploring some decent places, not been able to do that. So I thought, you know what, I'll whack the GoPro out today and do a quick video of camper van instead. So obviously in previous videos, or the last video, I gave you a quick tour of it, explained a couple of things, but I thought I'd just go a little bit more in depth today of why I bought a camper van, what I've done to it, and what I plan to do in it in the future as well. So I mean, what made me buy a camper van? Do you know what, just because of other people, they had them. And down to COVID as well. Obviously we're not travelling abroad, we're not doing anything at the moment, which made me think, do you know what, let's buy a camper van, and you know, we can maybe do the NC 500 in Scotland. I can do a bit of wild camping, I can go to campsites, rock up, well, sorry, not go to campsites because it was COVID, but you know, just go and rock about and you know, just have the odd little weekend break when I could, obviously without it being locked down. So I was looking for probably about a month. I had other friends who were buying them. I went with them to look at them, and obviously they ended up buying them, but I'd test driven them and looked over them sort of mechanically and had a look in the bodywork and stuff like that. So I was sort of getting an idea. This is for T4 camper vans as well. We were looking at sort of T25s, T3, but for the price of them, my budget, sort of, you ain't gonna get a decent one, I don't think. So we purely stuck, well, I purely stuck to T4s. I've had other friends who've bought T2s and stuff like that. But anyway, the one that I purchased, after looking around everybody else's and picking flaws with them, I bought the cheapest one, which, you know, with scene tax and COVID tax on top, cost me £5,000. And with that, it had sort of your basics in here. So it had the it had a SMEV top with a sink and two burners. It also had a 3000 watt inverter, leisure battery, and it's got the what do you call it, solar panels. It's got one solar panel on the roof as well, and it's got ventilation as well in the ceiling. It had a pull-out bed, which was made of sort of what was it made out of? A pallet, made out of a pallet, and done, if I'm honest with you, pretty badly as well. So the first thing I did when I bought it, I viewed it in the dark. The guy said it had been repainted all over, costing £1,500, and it was a proper professional job as well. So looking around it in the dark, I didn't really see anything untowards. It was a bit chilly as well. I just wanted to sort of get it over and done with. So yeah, he showed me around it. A little bit disappointed by it, but it was the cheapest one on Facebook Marketplace at the time, so I thought, right, let's go and give it a go. Plus it was only 30 miles away from my home. Took it for a quick test drive, hated every moment of it, but to be fair, if anybody else test drives one of these T4s or any older van, you've got to bear in mind that it's 25 years old. It's got about 80 horsepower, if that, or it started out with 80 horsepower, so God knows what it's got now. They're slow. The power steering, it is what it is. It has got power steering, and I think generally speaking they do have power steering, but it's not a modern car. The pickup's dead slow on them, unless you go for the 2.5 litre diesel engine, which I've opted in for the 1.9 diesel, purely because of the bomb proof. So yeah, that was it really. Test driving it, it was awful. Even though I've grown to love it now, and you know, out of all the other cars that I've got, I'll mainly drive this. And since I've had it since March, I've done 4,000 miles in it, and it's been absolutely fantastic and fault free. So the first thing that I did, as soon as I bought it back, I literally jumped in, ripped out, like there was a shelf on that side which we bodged together, a shelf on that side as well, which looked awful. The curtains were questionable because they literally had like a little bit of string going across, and some like curtains out of, I don't know, the 50s, just like like hung up. I don't even know what they're covering because they weren't even covering the window. So yeah, ripped all of that out, ripped the shelves out. I thought, you know what, I'll keep the hob and everything where it is, where GoPro is, and this dog awful bed as well with a lump of memory foam on it, just so that I could go and camp in it for at least a couple of weeks. Needless to say, in a couple of weeks' time, yeah, I stripped it all out completely, back to bare. Well, say back to bare. Sort of kept all of this, kept the insulation in still because that's already done. And then from that, put a new flooring in. eBay special, cost me about 50 quid. Did it myself. Got some adhesive, stuck that down. Okay-ish job, could have been better. I will patch it up and make it a little bit better in time, but for now it looks 10 times better than what the previous floor looked like. With that being said as well, I ripped the old kitchen top out, kept and no, I didn't bin it, no. I managed to sell it for 30 quid and the person that bought it was very disappointed but still bought it. Kept the SMEV top, I took that away and chopped out the bed and everything, so it was basically converting a camper van back into a van. And then what did I do after that? I think I just used it as a van for a couple of weeks, just did the odd tip run while this little beast was being made, which I'll show you as well. In fact, I'll show it you now. One second. That whole unit there, so that cost me a good second. So that cost me £900. It took about a month to make. They were purely the cheapest on Google. You might find slightly cheaper out there, I'm guessing, but that's what I could find at the time. And it's properly done as well. It's really solid wood. But it's also lightweight. Don't ask me what type it is because I have no idea. But that was £900. That's including this table as well. Then it had a board for the rock and roll bed, so you couldn't see the framework, which I've not got round to fit in yet, which is in the boot area. So £900 for that. Absolutely revved by it because then at that point I've got the floor in, I've got this in, and I've got my electrics hooked back up as well. So I've got all my lights and everything working again. So I think I did my first trip in April with all of this without the bed, which was fairly uncomfortable because I just had a sleeping bag on the floor, but the views and everything from it was up Peak District way. It was absolutely epic. It was amazing. A couple of weeks later, well, ordered this. So what we've got here is a rock and roll bed. It's an M1 tested one as well. So I've basically converted this van in from a 2-seater to a 4-seater now. And the rock and roll bed is really, really comfy. It was also made to order. I don't know what you'd call it, tan leather, which is not something that you'd see in most camper vans. It's not really a colour you'd go for, being brown. But me working in the motor trade and seeing all sorts of different colour interiors, I've always liked a tan interior. So I think it goes really, really well with the grey. And then that's it really. With that being done, the only things that I've got left to do now is the roof lining. That I think is the original roof lining, which to me it's pretty awful. Don't really know what to change it to. I was sort of thinking going for like the white wood or just like a wooden theme across. But then I've seen other people with like the world map over, and I think that looks kind of cool. There's a few eBay jobbies out there as well. If you go on eBay and type in, obviously, you know, VW T4 roof lining, there's plenty out there with the VW emblems and stuff like that. I don't really know I don't know whether I want to go that way or not. I don't know whether it looks a little bit chavvy, but we'll see. I suppose it's better than this. What are the issues since I've had this? So there's not really, when I say issues, the horn, every time I turn right it gets on beeping, but a big deal. I disconnected that with a pair of grips. The second one is the sunroof, what am I on about, sunroof? The hatch, that has just started leaking actually, as you can see there, which is really annoying. There's a couple more seals in the car which have decided to fall off and let water in, but nothing major. Anything else? So there's the horn, there was that. I think that's really about it. The other one, glove box. I'll show you that. So, I don't know what happened with Martin, but, excuse me. So these obviously come with a glove box light, which this one hasn't got anymore, due to the fact that when it did have one, the main beams would be, honestly, they'd be just going on and off, on and off. It was constantly on the main beams and the window wipers didn't work. And I was obviously scratching my head and thinking, why? Yeah, anyway, it turned out to be the wires touching in the glove box. The light never worked in there, but yeah, something had happened electronically, and like it kept on short and everything. So that was that really. Disconnected that, chopped the wires and taped them up, and it's not been a problem since. And if I'm honest with you, I'm not really that bothered about a glove box light anyway. So that's it really. It's had new top, new floor, new seats, put some curtains in as well, and that's it, to be honest with you. I think I'll show you the paintwork on it. In fact, I'll do that magic thing. I'm going to step out of the van now, so just bear with me 1 second. So I find this really weird, actually stood on my driveway talking to myself, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, so here it is again, the 200,000 mile beast. I viewed this in the dark, so you can clearly see, you know, this used to be a green van. Paint for. The biggest thing to look out for on these is just remove this cover. This is one thing that I didn't check. It's really annoying. Is that, and to be honest with you, when I last photographed that, that's got significantly worse as well. So yeah, when you look at one of these vans, check the inner arches on them, because they are so prone for going. Apart from that, to be fair, rot-wise they're not so bad, or at least they're not as bad as this. It's rotting down there as well, it's going there, so it's probably going to want an entire step, so which is really annoying. But again, do you know what, that's what you get for when you buy a cheap van. But still going to be better than a T25, although the T25 looks a hell of a lot better. Next thing to look out for is the runner, because they rot real heavily as well, and obviously check the seals as well. Get a screwdriver in there, jab it, if it pokes a hole in it, it's not happy days. So yeah, that's it really. But again, you know what, for £5,000 in this sort of climate, it's not all, well, I don't think it's all that bad anyway. So just show you the interior again. So this whole setup in total, from it being just a standard van to the flooring, that and that ended up costing just shy of £2,000, which, to be fair, from what it looked like before to what it is now, makes all the difference. The solar panels obviously came with it, and so did the skylight as well. Really know what else to add. The electrics obviously need sorting. They're not so bad, you know, it works, but it is a little bit of a bodge job. Completely safe, but it is a little bit of a bodge. I say. I think these on their own are about 200. I think 200 quid, I guess. So, yeah. So that's it really. Let me just close that door again. Mechanically though, the engine runs perfect. It's got no service history with it. Not that I'm really that bothered about it. It's obviously an ex-builder's van. I know that it would have been, you know, well maintained at some point in its life. Just looking at in fact, anyone that's looking to buy one, just look at the MOT history on one as well. Make sure it's not been clocked on the MOT advisory, because looking at a good couple of these now, I did notice that it was going up to, say, I don't know, like 256,000 miles, and then bang, all of a sudden the year after it's done 150,000 miles. So that's happened on, well, probably must have been a good 2 or 3 of them out of like the 5, for example, that I looked at. Whereas this one, it's done, I think when I bought it, it done about 198,000 miles, with minimal advisories. And yeah, you know, it's, for its age, it's still quite low mileage. So that's it really. I think the intentions of, you know, what I want to use it for now is I'm desperate to do Europe. I'd like to, you know, do, you know, like I said, I'd like to do France, Spain. Although people have mentioned that, you know, you'd be better off getting something like a Sprinter, something, you know, something of that sort of size. A T4 is probably not going to cut it, but you know what, for my first van and my first getaway and being able to do what I want, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So that's it really. My intentions really for buying it was so I could get away when I wanted to, go where I wanted to, and that's it. Like I say, when I bought it, it was a bit of a shed. It still is a bit of a shed now. It's pretty awful to drive, but I absolutely love driving it now. And I'd recommend anybody who's potentially looking to buy a T4, or just a camper van in general, don't think about it, just go and do it. Probably going to be the best decision that you'll ever make. So that's it really. So hopefully on the next video, it ain't going to be all about camper vans. Hopefully I'll be not in isolation, which I won't be because I'm going back to work tomorrow, thankfully. And I'm going to go and do some exploring. So that's it. Peace out.